Hello, dear students. Welcome to What, Why, How, the daily initiative by IAS Baba, where we take up current topics that are relevant for your prelims and we try to declutter it in less than 10 minutes. The first topic that I've chosen for today is regarding the 3-in-1 program that has been launched in West Bengal. Now, normally we do not have so much of importance for state related missions, but this is a very innovative mission and the first of its kind in our country. So, what exactly is the 3-in-1 mission? This mission is primarily related to your health sector, where West Bengal has launched a project to eliminate mother to child transmission of three major diseases, which are HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis B. Let's go into the details of this. This primarily looks, if you look at these three diseases, which is HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis B, all three of these diseases, when you look at the modes of transmission, they have something very similar. All of these three diseases are highly infectious and their mode of transmission is similar in the sense that it is either from in a very sexual manner, it gets transmitted through sexual fluids, etc., through genital fluids, etc., or it also gets transmitted from mother to child. So this is called as the vertical transmission of these diseases. Now, this particular program called as the Triple Elimination Initiative or the 3-in-1 Initiative of West Bengal tries to curb this particular aspect, that the vertical transmission of your HIV, syphilis, or hepatitis, that is the mother to child transmission, is completely eliminated by 2026 in the state. To help in this initiative, the government has actually combined with the William J. Clinton Foundation and the World Health Organization for the funds related to it. So, this is primarily run by the West Bengal government, the World Health Organization, and the William J. Clinton Foundation. I hope this topic is clear to you. The next topic that we have is something that has been doing the rounds related to certain movies. There have been a lot of controversies. It's related to the Aurangzeb's tomb. So the Aurangzeb's tomb, when you have to talk about it, this primarily would come under your culture, your history, the medieval history parts, etc. Now, what do we need to know in this aspect? In this aspect, you have to first know, though Aurangzeb was the ruler located in Delhi, towards the last days, he was so focused on conquering certain parts in the southern, central India that he had to shift base to your Maharashtrian regions. And this is the reason, the primary reason why this shift had to be done is because towards the end, he suffered, or his reign suffered, severe agrarian crisis, desertion by the nobility, and even threats from the Marathas. You know how Aurangzeb, to come to his rule, he had actually sided against a lot of nobility. So, towards the end, when crises started to hit, all three of these things, agrarian crisis, desertion by nobility, and the threats from the Maratha rulers in this region, was severely crumbling the Aurangzeb reign. So this is the reason why Aurangzeb, when his death is happening, he is away from Delhi. He is in Maharashtra. He's in Kuldabad in Maharashtra. It's far away from where his actual capital city is. Now, as you look over here, there's a picture of the tomb over here. The tomb is unlike any of the other structures that is there. The tomb is unlike any of the other Mughal tombs that are there. You can see it is very less decorated. It's a very simple. It has no ornamentation. It has no over decoration or with your marble, etc. It's a very simple tomb, and he purposefully chose that because that is the kind of life that he was, or the kind of religious life that he had believed in. Also, to note one important point, his grave is inside the shrine complex of Sheikh Zainuddin, who is a 14th century Chisti saint. So he's buried alongside this shrine which is there. So all of these points need to be remembered. Primary point is his tomb and is very similar to the tomb of Babur, because Babur being the first Mughal ruler here, even his tomb did not have a lot of ornamentation. From an architectural perspective, it was a very simple structure. This is exactly how even Aurangzeb's tomb is there. So just from the architectural point of view, these details can be important. So I hope even this topic is clear to you. Until we meet again, take care and happy learning.